Hello, Scott here again, starting out the month with another deep dive. This time I want to look at Frontier and highlight some of the ideas I've been testing out. Frontier is a prototype. Let me turn the music off. That means it's essentially a first draft, no story, no original artwork, just a basic framework of how you play the game. I learned a lot while making this, like not how to make a map in a video game, but there's a lot here, so let's take a look. You can see right here in the middle, this is Charlie. She's got an axe. She can swing an axe. She has an inventory with an axe in it, and a couple of squirrels I must have caught with my axe, and 3 energy bars you start the game with. Here's a flower, and I can scan it with the primer. And see, I just learned something new about lupins, so I got a botany point. What I plan on doing with this is to tell the primer that you've seen this fact, so later it can ask you questions about whether or not lupin seeds are edible. The interplay between these two games is the core of the educational strategy, but I can talk about that sort of contextual learning in a different video. So while I'm looking at this plant, I can harvest it, and the item I receive from harvesting is based on the season. So the game starts in the spring, it's got a lot of flowers and roots and fish, and probably not a lot to harvest. Otherwise, you'll have to do more hunting, I think, in the early spring. The yield and quality of the items is based on your primer level in that plant. So you can see up here in the corner that harvesting these plants uses up a little bit of energy and focus, but if I scan one, I get a little bit of focus back. Let's see here. Here's a character, and they're pretty simple currently. They don't have an opinion of you. There are no dialogue options, both features I'd like to add, but you can talk to them. They have 3 kinds of dialogue. The first is a general greeting. These rotate each time you talk to them. The second is a quest introduction, and then what other extra quest dialogue you need to do to finish explaining it. And then finally, they give you a fact. So much like scanning a plant, this is really just a primer card in disguise. Each character only says one of them per in-game day. I should maybe do it so that it's like every real day, but I have to test that out. If I talk to her again, she gives me another greeting, which I believe is also seasonal. And then there's a quest reminder, and a 2-parter, and no fact. So she wants me to scan 4 more plants, so she'll give me an apple or something. See, here it is in your quest log. I'm not going to scan all those plants right now. She'll have to wait till later. There's different plants, and here's a little crafting table. You can see I can craft a wood plank if I have a hand plane and some logs, and level 1 in materials in the primer. So here's a guy. He has another quest for me. He gave me a bed to sleep in. He wants me to chop down some alder logs so I can repair this bridge. Now, all of these art assets, almost all of the assets really, except for Charlie, were bought in a pack. So they don't all look like what they're supposed to look like, and that's something that the budget for this game is mostly going to be focused on. So let's see here. Let's scan these plants, see what kind of plants they are. They are alders. See, I learned a little fact again. So I can chop down the trees, and this is using up more energy. Little warning, I'm using up all this energy. See here, the less focus you have, the more energy chopping the tree costs. Let me see if I have enough. I have enough alder logs, but my energy is low. See, I'm at 62, so I'm not moving as quickly as I used to. So if I want to get my movement speed back up, I got to eat an energy bar. Boop. And now I'm at full speed. I'll give him his logs. And then he gives me a knife for some reason. I don't know why. And you can see I've unlocked the bridge now. So I could craft, or I could sleep in my little bed. Crafting's still a little bit rough. Let's go across the bridge. There's a warren of rabbits. Oh, he ran away. So they'll run back to their hole and disappear. There's a couple more. So this is sort of what I think of as the orchard section, where you start having, I think these are oaks. Are these oaks? Oh, maples. Oaks must be farther south. So here's another guy. I don't know why he has a shield. All of the characters were also bought in a pack, so I probably put that on there as a joke. I don't really understand it anymore. So let's see here. He wants me to bring him some squirrels, but I already had squirrels, so I gave him the squirrels. So he gave me a bow. See up here, and then I've also got it as an action down here, but no arrows. What a jerk. I'll have to craft my own. So I'd have to get some sticks and some feathers and some rocks and go to the crafting station, or I can just buy some from him with the tokens I earned playing in Frontier, or not in Frontier, in the Primer or in Arcadia. I don't really want to do that right now. What I'd really like is to make a barter system so that you could trade, the things that they need or particularly like instead of using tokens. I'm pretty sure I could set it up, but it'll take a couple tries, so I'm going to save that to the next version. Through that area back there, that was the deep forest, and there's deer and boar and berry bushes, and I'd like it for the layout of the forest to change each day, but that's a big project. So here's another person. She wants me to get some salt, but she would need salt water for that, and to get the salt water she would need a barrel, and to get the barrel I would need the right tools and some more wood, and then I could bring it up to the fire and craft. I don't have a squirrel anymore, I use only squirrels, and then I could cook that salt water down and then make some salt and then use it for food, and so then she'll give me something in return, and then a new quest that'll send me somewhere else, and it goes on like that. But let's not run the rat race right now. You can see it's starting to turn dark. So go hit the hay, and it's a new day now. Just take a little walk around the environment to kind of get an idea. Different flowers. I think those were mint or lavender. More alders, some berries. The environment is actually pretty big. I got a lot of different stock assets. I changed some of them around, like these plantains I made from a couple different plants. I kind of smushed them together. There's like cherry trees. Everything in here is a Pacific Northwest, either native or can survive there. Oh, here's the ocean where I would get that salt water, and a crab. There's a bee, squirrels, and there's raccoons. I tried to fit in as much from the region as I thought made sense from a gameplay point of view. I think that was, I don't know what that is. I think this is time, yeah. So I have all these different biomes, like here's the lake, and then up here is like a big open field, and then this is sort of the flower field area. There's a lot of mice up here. So, doopy-doo. Here's the hills. There's one more character up here worth talking. Goats. A lizard. So we go up here. This is the last major feature. This is the little monk guy or girl. I'm not actually sure what she is yet. Probably a girl. So let's see here. If you're low on focus, you can come up here and meditate. And this part needs work, but I think 3 minutes of quiet contemplation is an easy thing to offer. If you want to help someone, this is a pretty easy thing you can give them. And even if you set your phone down and just walk away and not actually do the meditating, then that's still good for your mental health. So I still consider that a win from the game's point of view. Those are all the features that comprise the central loop of this game. You help characters and learn recipes that you can harvest materials for and collect food to keep you going so you can improve this little village that you're building up. I think it's a pretty successful prototype. There are some features I still want to try out. But after that, it's mostly about storytelling and creating new environments with interesting things in them, and having original art assets made, new characters. But there's a lot that goes into making a game like this, and usually it's not made by one person. So when I think about the Patreon, I mostly think about raising money to work on this project, particularly because you can come in here and you might learn something in the Prime or read a book, but in a game like this, it gives you the opportunity to hunt down a lizard and then find out something new about that lizard. And just because you had to catch it gives you a little bit more incentive to actually learn something from it. So I think that's sort of like the central conceit of this. And so far, I think it's working out pretty well, and I'd like to see it go farther. And if you would like to play this game for yourself, like I said, it's actually pretty big. There's a whole forest and a mine I didn't even get to. You can play it by joining the Patreon at a $5 level, and you can play all of the other games that are not released officially on the front page. So give it a try. Check out Charlie. Get a bunch of stuff in your inventory. And until then, thank you for watching.